What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're back again for our Hell in a Cell preview and predictions, as Hell in a Cell is coming to you this Sunday on the WWE Network at 7 o'clock as usual. Well, 6 o'clock for the pre-show. We have 7 matches on the main card, and right before I went to actually leave where I get my news and stuff from and where I'm working right now with usual stuff, they did announce one match did make it to the pre-show, and that would be the Tag Team Championship match for the New Day and Rusev Day. So we all thought Rusev went from the WWE Championship to the pre-show back to the main card. Not so fast, and this is also going to lead into my prediction for who's going to win. This is just one of those shows that I don't think anyone really cares about. Monday Night Raw has been doing an awful job. Monday Night Raw has 3 matches overall. The Universal Championship match, the Tag Team titles, and the Women's Championship. That is it. Everything else is a SmackDown title, is a SmackDown match. You have all their titles are on line minus the United States Championship. You have the Hell in a Cell for SmackDown, and that's that. And it's just WWE just seems to have realized it's like Raw has been more focused on the Super Showdown, which comes to you 3 weeks from tomorrow, 3 weeks from today, or yes, 3 weeks from today, because you'll see this on Saturday, 3 weeks from today from Melbourne, Australia. Raw has been more focused on that outside of three feuds, which it's just WWE just doesn't seem to care. And expect more and more in this as we go on. But of course, the first match we're going to talk about is the Tag Team Championship match for the New Day versus Rusev Day. How did we get to where we are on the pre-show for this? I usually don't go over the pre-show, but this is a interesting match here. On August 21st, 2 days after SummerSlam, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods defeated the Bludgeon Brothers in a no disqualification match to capture the 3rd SmackDown Tag Team Championship and 5th overall. I actually think Kofi Kingston's like a 7-time Tag Team Champion or something. On August 26th, Paige scheduled 2 triple threat matches with the winners facing each other to determine who would face the New Day for the titles at Hell in a Cell. Cesaro and Sheamus the Bar won the first triple threat match by defeating Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and the Colognes. On August 28th, episode of SmackDown, Rusev and Aiden English, also known as Rusev Day, won the second triple threat by defeating the Usos and Sanity's Eric Young and Killian Dane. Then this past Tuesday, Sheamus and Cesaro and the Bar lost to each other, lost to Rusev Day. In what was an interesting way to go, because Rusev is looking like he's going to get hit with the Brogue Kick. Aiden English took the bullet, and Rusev Day won the match due to a Mach kick. Excuse me. I'm going with the New Day. That just doesn't seem like they want to actually give Rusev Day a chance to be champions. I think they missed the boat on Rusev Day. It's not as over as it was back at Night of Champions or Clash of Champions last year, when you had that Fatal 4-Way. And you had the Bar and not the Bar was on Ross though. You had the New Day, you had the Usos, you had there's another 4th team. I'm pretty sure. I was pretty sure it was a Fatal 4-Way. It was a triple threat, but you had Rusev Day in that match, and they came when you had, I think it was the Staccolade or an Accolade on. I think it was Xavier Woods or Xavier and Kofi. The crowd was going white hot crazy. The crowd was white hot for Rusev Day on that night. The crowd really wanted to see Rusev Day win the championships on that night, and WWE did not pull the trigger. So why would WWE pull the trigger now? It's just one of those things that they don't know what they want to do with Rusev Day. So of course I'm going with the New Day to defeat Aiden English and Rusev. And hopefully we'll be close to the start of the. Hopefully when they do their pre-show, there's 7 matches. They talk about the first 6. They do the Rusev Day match versus New Day, and then they talk about the match they want to talk about last, which would be the Universal Championship. But I'm going with the New Day over Rusev and Aiden English. Now it could be a swerve, and we could get Rusev Day to win the tag team titles, because there is talk about how Vince McMahon wants to make the New Day the most decorated tag team in WWE history. That's going to be kind of hard to do when they sit there and I know they're not all in WWE, but they sit there and they acknowledge that the Dudley Boys are 22 or 20-some tag team champions. The New Day would be forever at that. I don't know off the top of my head what the record is for most tag team championships in the WWE itself. I think it's like I don't even think it's 10. So WWE it would not surprise me if Rusev Day actually wins this, because they do want to give the New Day, because right now the New Day and the Usos are tied 5 apiece with championship gold. The Usos, if the New Day were to lose it to the Usos would be at the 6th, and then the New Day winning back, they'd be at the 6th. I think WWE wants to break that tie with the New Day actually winning the titles back. So it would not surprise me if Rusev Day wins the tag team titles to give him that little token title run, which they would then lose him to them at, I think the Bar is actually going to be taking on the New Day at Super Showdown. But because of the Super Showdown coming up, and I'm pretty sure the Bar is facing the New Day, that's another reason why I don't see them losing the titles to Rusev Day. So I'm going with New Day over Rusev Day. What should be the opening match of the show? Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maryse in a tag team match. A mixed tag team match. This match, if it wasn't for the fact that we have Daniel Bryan and The Miz in this match, I would not give two fucks about this match. What they did this past Tuesday with Maryse and Brie Bella in the quote-unquote main event was a laughing stock. It was a joke, and it was just another excuse to have Daniel Bryan and The Miz brawl, and Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella to get the upper hand. At SummerSlam, The Miz defeated Daniel Bryan after his wife Maryse gave him a pair of brass knuckles that the referee did not see. On the following SmackDown, Miz and Maryse mocked Daniel Bryan's retirement speech from 2 years ago, because he's like, I retire from ever having to face Daniel Bryan again. That was beautiful heel work. Daniel Bryan and Brie came out and confronted them. Bryan called Miz a coward for having to cheat to win at SummerSlam, and said that SmackDown's general manager Paige has approved of a mixed tag team match retiring Bryan and Brie. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maryse. Then, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, or last week, they had the entire, I don't know what WWE's doing on SmackDown, but they started it with Miz and Maryse, and they did it this past week with AJ Styles, which we'll talk to it later, that they have the superstars show up early or right after the ring gets set up and everything, everything. They have them stand in the middle of the ring or stand around the ring and cut a promo to an empty arena. Why? You had Miz and Maryse last week or 2 weeks ago stand in the middle of an arena. And Maryse should never touch a microphone again. She is awful on the mic. But they had Miz and Maryse call out Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, who weren't there yet, and they act like, oh, well, they're scared, they're cowards. You were in an empty arena. Why the hell does WWE think that is even a good idea? They did it with AJ this past Tuesday. We'll talk about that later when we get to the WWE Championship match. And then, of course, they had that dreadful main event this past Tuesday. Go watch Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair for a real women's main event on a weekly television show. Or go watch Ashley Rain versus Mercedes Martinez for a real women's main event, even though it is the Mae Young Classic and it's all women's matches. Still, I would take Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair or Madison Rain. I'm just going to call her Madison Rain. I don't give a fuck. Madison Rain versus Mercedes Martinez over the shit that we got at the end of SmackDown this past Tuesday. That was just awful. And it should never, ever be done again. Brie Bella does not deserve any time in this match, and neither does Maryse. This match is going to probably be 98% Daniel Bryan and The Miz. Brie and Maryse get maybe a minute or two in this match. Daniel Bryan and Brie are going to win this match just to continue on the feud, because they are going to have a one-on-one match. Hopefully Brie and Maryse are nowhere to be found during their match at Super Showdown with a number one contendership on the line. So you just don't want Daniel Bryan, because if Daniel Bryan and Brie do not beat Miz and Maryse, then the narrative going into Super Showdown is that, oh, well, Daniel Bryan has to win, or there's no reason for this feud to continue, because that would be 3 losses in a row. So Daniel Bryan and Brie are going to win this match, and then we get the Super Showdown where Miz will probably win and continue on to eventually win the WWE Championship, and this would lead to these two taking it to WrestleMania, where The Miz would eventually lose to Daniel Bryan in the main event, what should be the actual main event of WrestleMania. So that should be the match, in my opinion, that starts up. But what will probably start off the show would be Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. This feud, I can understand why they're going to Hell in a Cell, because Jeff Hardy wanted to be in Hell in a Cell before he called it a career. This feud, I would have rather seen in like a 3 Stages of Hell match and give the WWE Championship match the Hell in a Cell stipulation, but I see why they did it. At Backlash, Jeff Hardy aimed the United States Championship against Randy Orton at Extreme Rules, but that was Orton's last match until his return in Extreme Rules. After Hardy lost the United States Championship to Shinsuke Nakamura in 8 seconds due to a low blow by Shinsuke Nakamura before the match and then a Kinshasa, Orton made his return to the WWE and attacked Hardy by just stamping on his balls, making sure that Jeff Hardy can no longer have kids. 2 days later on SmackDown, on the last 17th episode of SmackDown, Hardy had his rematch with Nakamura, but it ended in a draw after it ended in a DQ after Orton attacked Hardy. The following week, Orton explained his attack on Hardy by stating that he felt disrespected by the WWE Universe and hated how they were supportive of superstars like Hardy, John Cena, and others like that. The next week, Orton launched a third attack on Hardy with an aidance from Nakamura. Hardy invoked his rematch clause at SummerSlam and would once again fail to regain his title. After the match, Orton came out while Hardy was incapacitated in the ring, only to turn his back and walk away after coming so close to looking like he was going to come into the ring. So Orton only showed up at SummerSlam to get his SummerSlam pay. That was about it. The following SmackDown on August 21st, Hardy and Orton had a match that ended in disqualification after Hardy low-blowed Orton. Hardy then proceeded to attack Orton all around the arena and eventually spread into the crowd area. Hardy then executed a swanton onto Orton off the balcony through a table. On the August 28th episode of SmackDown, Hardy challenged Orton to a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell, which Orton accepted. Then this past Tuesday, Shinsuke Nakamura and Jeff Hardy were in the middle of this was a non-title match for the United States Championship. Looked like it was a non-title match, but Hardy looked like he was going to get the win with Swanton when Randy Orton, from out of nowhere, probably from the crowd barrier, pushed Jeff Hardy and just like onto the top rope, crouching in there, and then he beat him down a little bit more until Jeff Hardy got back into it and ended up hitting the Swanton, Twist of Fate, and the Swanton onto Randy Orton as we get ready for this show. The betting odds have come in, and I'm going to probably agree with them. Jeff Hardy is probably going to lose. This might be the last time we see Jeff Hardy for a while, and I think he's going to do some kind of daredevil move off the top of the cage to miss, and it would not be surprising if he does a swanton trying to hit Orton on the announce table, the announce desk, which of course will be padded underneath, and he will miss. Orton will get him back in the ring, hit the RKO, because he has not hit the RKO since he's returned. He's been holding the RKO back because people pop for the RKO because it comes out of nowhere. So Jeff Hardy is going to cause his own defeat by going for a swanton off the top of the cell, which, oh, Jeff, why? Please don't die. That's all I'm going to hear. Well, I guarantee if he gets on top of the cell, we're going to hear like 13,000 fans chanting, "Please don't die, please don't die, please don't die." And then he's going to miss, and it was nice to know you while we did, Jeff, because, like I said, this will probably be the last time we see Jeff Hardy. So, probably after Survivor Series, maybe, I'm not sure. So, Jeff Hardy is going to lose to Orton due to him missing a swanton, and Orton finally hitting the RKO, not once, but probably twice or 3 times, just to drill home that he is just ending Jeff Hardy. Moving over to, let me see what we got here. Moving over to the Raw side, let's talk about the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Let me see if we have anything on notes here. Let me think. Maybe not. All we know is that, okay. On September 3rd episode of Raw, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defeated the B team, the B-minus team, in my opinion, both Dallas and Dakota Saxons to win the Raw Tag Team Championships. The following week, a rematch between the two with Ziggler and McIntyre retaining the titles but after that match, of course, this past Monday, just Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose re-entered the building as just Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and not the Shield to attack them. And Seth Rollins was able to get a tag team title opportunity for him and Dean Ambrose to take because they blackmailed Baron Corbin for falsifying a police report the week before, in which Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose were, of course, with Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns were thrown in jail in one of the dumbest plot hole-filled angles they've done all year. But they did make this match, and I hate it. I hate that they're doing this, but do not be surprised by the time Hell in a Cell is over, the Shield owns all titles on Monday Night Raw. So I'm going with, and in the span of a month, Dolph Ziggler loses the Intercontinental title to Seth Rollins, and by the time Hell in a Cell comes around, he is going to lose the tag team titles to Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. So within the matter of a month, Dolph Ziggler goes from having two championships around his waist to losing the same championships, if this does happen, to the same guy again. Now, what would be interesting though is if Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre retain the titles, and the Super Showdown match, which is going to be the Shield versus Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Braun Strowman, turns into all titles are on the line, which means that if Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Braun Strowman win, they win the Universal title and the Intercontinental title, and if the Shield win, they win the tag team titles. That would make it wouldn't make it intriguing what happens, but it would not surprise me if that could happen. But I'm going with I'm going with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Let's see what else here. We have the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Oh, buddy, this one is a really intriguing one right here. This one, WWE failed so miserably with the way they tried to do this. Charlotte Flair defeated Becky Lynch and Carmella in a triple threat match at SummerSlam to capture her 7th Women's Championship. After the match, Lynch turned quote-unquote heel and attacked Charlotte Flair to a roaring applause, a roaring standing ovation. The following week, Lynch and Flair confronted and attacked each other. A match between Lynch and Flair for the title was scheduled for Hell in a Cell. This past Tuesday, Charlotte Flair was in a match against Sonya Deville. She won that. Post-match, she was getting a selfie with a couple fans in the crowd, and Becky Lynch, from behind her, disguised as a woman with black hair, knocks her out, pulls off the disguise, and in full black jeans, black boots, and a black top, she just looks like Stone Cold Becky Lynch. Now I'm going to go off a little bit here, and there was a fan or two who went after Road Dogg, Brian James, and were complaining with the fact that WWE failed to, they need to listen to the fans and book Becky to win the championship. And Brian, of course, said that she's in the top feud on SmackDown. She's going for the Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. What more can they do? And I have to agree with Road Dogg on that, because first off, he also said he doesn't see Becky as a heel. He sees her as a badass character, which she has been. You ain't gonna, there's also, and Brian Alvarez also, when he was talking to Simon Miller from What Culture Wrestling, also said that he has a feeling that there is going to be a quote-unquote double turn, even though it's not really a double turn, because Becky Lynch has, even though the next Tuesday after SummerSlam, Becky Lynch came out and cut a tweener promo. She bitched about what happened with her and Charlotte. Then she attacked the fans. Then she went back to attacking Charlotte in vocally. And if you went and you watched my review that night, and I play the clips all the time that I can, she went out and did all that. And then when you go to the WWE page, they cut for attacking the fans verbally. So WWE realized that they screwed up. Nobody's going to cheer as boo Becky Lynch. But the double turn is to happen. It would happen to this Sunday with Charlotte Flair cheating to win and talking trash about it afterwards or whatever she would have to do. Charlotte Flair is the heel in this game in this storyline. Charlotte Flair is not to lose this title until Evolution. We'll talk about the leaked Evolution card coming tomorrow on Unscripted, on a special Sunday episode of Unscripted. But she is not going to lose this title. There is SmackDown, there is Hell in a Cell, there's Super Show, then there's SmackDown 1000, and then we have Evolution. Charlotte Flair is not to lose this title until Evolution. It would make more sense for Charlotte to lose at Evolution to Becky Lynch. I don't care how she does it, but Charlotte Flair is not losing this title tonight. I mean, not tonight, but Sunday, Monday, Super Showdown, and at SmackDown 1000, if those titles are on the line. So, Becky Lynch will not win the title. She might win the match because of some fuck finish, but she is not going to win the title yet. Let's move over to the Raw Women's Championship. This is the second of 3 matches for Monday Night Raw. At SummerSlam, Ronda Rousey defeated Alexa Bliss after, of course, at Money in the Bank, Ronda Rousey had her first ever singles match, and it was against then Women's Champion Nia Jax. But Alexa Bliss would cash in her Money in the Bank, Women's Money in the Bank contract, and win the title. Ronda Rousey destroyed her the very next night, in which she got suspended for attacking Alexa Bliss and attacking Kurt Angle. She was showed up at Extreme Rules to combat Mickie James, and I think Alicia Fox was out there too, to try and even the odds for Nia Jax. It didn't matter. Nia Jax lost. That was the last time we've seen Nia Jax since. She is actually out with an injury, rehabbing and all that good stuff. But then we got SummerSlam, and Ronda Rousey would win the title, and was pretty much a squash match. On August 27th, Raw, Bliss announced that she would be invoking her rematch clause at Hell in a Cell. Ronda Rousey, of course, will not be going into this match 100%, as we saw this past Monday. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss worked on the ribs to weaken Ronda Rousey. Will Alexa Bliss win the championship back? Hell no. They are not going to have a lot. The problem is, Ronda Rousey is not losing this title until we get to WrestleMania, when you have the Ronda Rousey-Charlotte Flair match that Vince McMahon is creaming his pants for and just wants to have. And Ronda Rousey will lose the title to Charlotte Flair after Charlotte Flair wins the Royal Rumble and goes on to WrestleMania. And they have that huge match that they want for these two. So what happens with Alexa Bliss? She goes to the back of the line, she becomes absolutely fucking irrelevant, and we never see her in a major program again. She has had too much handed to her. She is the Monday Night Raw version of Charlotte Flair. Everything's handed to her. She probably goes and sucks cock backstage just to get what she wants, kiss his ass, or whatever the fuck she has to do. She pretty much probably sleeps around too, sorry Buddy Murphy, but I'm pretty sure that's what your woman does, just to get what she wants, because she has no talent on the mic. Any talent she had on the mic, she left in SmackDown Live or in NXT. The only time she was ever relevant for me was when she was Blake and Murphy's bitch, and she was the reason Blake and Murphy even had any success. She has done nothing to improve. She doesn't like taking bumps. I'm surprised she's even bumping for Ronda Rousey. So if this match does not end in the same manner it did at SummerSlam, where she goes in, she does her little spinning side slam, and then puts her in an armbar, taps her out, that's it. Go away, Alexa Bliss. You have your match at Evolution. Worry about that. Ronda Rousey with the win. Alrighty, let's see, what do we have left here? We had the 2 title matches for the 2 Raw titles. Is that it? Yeah, wow. So we have AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. At SummerSlam, during the WWE Championship match between Samoa Joe and defending champion AJ Styles, Joe taunted by AJ by disrespecting his wife and daughter, and he said, "Oh, Daddy's not coming home, but don't worry, I'll be your new daddy." Oh, Samoa Joe. Oh, Samoa Joe. And Styles attacked Joe with a steel chair, resulting in Joe winning by disqualification, but Styles retained the title. On the following SmackDown, Joe attacked Styles from behind during an interview and continued to disrespect AJ's family, saying, "Daddy's gone night-night." August 24th, a rematch between the two for Hell in a Cell was scheduled, but, and this is a big but, no stipulation. Why? This past Tuesday, though, it got so, this past Tuesday, AJ was, of course, like I said earlier, in the arena earlier, just talking to the camera, sitting on the steel steps, hands on his knees or something, just talking about how Joe knows how to get my temper going by talking about my family. He has a family, too. I'm not going to disrespect his family because I have convictions, I have morals, But Joe, Samoa Joe, reading a bedtime story, night-night AJ. Oh my God. WWE has got themselves in a corner here. They do. Because I don't think they want AJ to lose the title just yet. It feels like they want him to break CM Punk's record, which he would have to make it to at least, I'm pretty sure, the Royal Rumble. At least the Royal Rumble, because it would be in December would be his 400 days. I think it's December 10th or something like that. Would be 400 days. And because he just hit 300 days last week, not this past week, but last week. And he is the cover athlete with 2K. He's not the fact that they did not put a stipulation on this match tells me he's not losing the title. AJ Styles is not going to lose the title because unless they throw a stipulation on there, if he gets disqualified or counted out, well, disqualified, counted out's not a thing, but disqualified, that he loses the title. If they don't put that stipulation on there, what is going to change from what we saw at SummerSlam? AJ Styles is going to have his temper messed with because Samoa Joe is going to sit there and taunt his family again if Wendy and Annie are in this crowd, which I don't think they should be. But if the Wendy and Annie are in the crowd again, it's going to be the same we saw at SummerSlam. These guys are going to be putting on a great match. He's going to talk shit on them. He might, without them even being there, he'll probably say something again. And then AJ Styles will lose his temper, and again, AJ Styles will lose by disqualification. So, Samoa Joe is probably going to win the match, but he's not winning the title. Again, without any stipulation, this is what this feud is as personal as Gargano and Ciampa has been in NXT. I mean, they've only been going for a little bit, but this feud is as personal as that one. That one needs to culminate in a Hell in a Cell match. This one, the reason it's not in Hell in a Cell, though, the reason this match is not in Hell in a Cell is because they have it at Super Showdown. It's being rumored to be at SmackDown 1000. So, that's why this is not in Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell should always be the blow-off for a feud. Roman and Strowman are going to be a blow-off. Jeff Hardy, again, as I said earlier, is going to probably be gone from WWE in an active role for a couple months to heal up his nagging injuries, his back issues, and everything. That's why this is not in Hell in a Cell. That is the only reason this match is not in Hell in a Cell. If this was the end of the feud, this was going to be it. And this is the thing. If this match was in Hell in a Cell, Joe wins. If this match has any stipulation, Joe wins the title. But the fact that they did not put a stipulation on this match tells me Samoa Joe will not walk out of Hell in a Cell with the WWE Championship. AJ is going to hold it, probably. I'd say Samoa Joe is not winning the championship, but WWE is really being put in the bind with his work on the promo skills, for sure. And that leaves us with what we all know will be the main event, even though it doesn't deserve to be because it has been trash. At SummerSlam, Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar to win the Universal Championship. Before the match began, Money in the Bank contract winner Braun Strowman came out and declared that he would be cashing on the winner of the match and stayed at ringside. However, he was incapacitated by Lesnar during the match, preventing him from cashing in. This distraction allowed Reigns to defeat Lesnar to win the championship in one of the most anticlimactic ways to end a 504-day reign as a champion. I don't care who the champion was or who the challenger was. That was one of the worst endings to a championship I have ever seen. It just made everyone look bad. The next night on Raw, Strowman once again attempted to cash in after Reigns successfully defended the title against Finn Balor, but was stopped by Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, coming to the age range of Reigns, reforming the Shield. The following week, Strowman confronted Reigns and announced he would be cashing in at Hell in a Cell inside the Hell in a Cell itself, so that Ambrose and Rollins could not interfere. On the September 10th edition of Raw, Mick Foley was named as special guest referee for this match. And of course, in between those weeks, the week after SummerSlam, he did cash in for Hell in a Cell. But they have made Braun Strowman look absolutely stupid over the last 3 weeks, or that episode and the very next episode, twice, 2 weeks in a row. Roman Reigns is beaten down by Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Braun Strowman in the week that he cashed in, and then the entire heel locker room the week after. How stupid does Strowman look? As soon as he cashed in, a half an hour or so later, he walks into Baron Corbin's office and gives him the briefcase and says, "Make sure to bring it to Hell in a Cell." So you took 2 weeks. You beat down Roman Reigns to where if you had the briefcase still, you could have put him in the ring, cleaned the ring out, handed the briefcase to a referee, and you're the new Universal Champion. But no, you handed the briefcase off, and now you have to wait to lose and be the third man, the third man to name when you're going to get your title shot, and be the second guy to lose. The only other two were Rob Van Dam and John Cena. And the only person to actually win when they decided to name where they're going to be was Rob Van Dam. John Cena lost because Big Show came out and caused a disqualification. And of course, what did WWE do? They took the Money in the Bank this year and gave it to Braun Strowman, only to waste it. Why, again, did Braun Strowman need a Money in the Bank contract to get this match? You could have had him turn heel and do everything that you did, and Baron Corbin would have been like, "Whoa, you two are going to have a championship match inside Hell in a Cell." Braun Strowman didn't need the Money in the Bank contract. That should have went to The Miz, and The Miz only. It made no sense to have Braun Strowman. It still makes no sense why you gave it to Braun Strowman. Maybe Samoa Joe could have won it? No. Who else was there going to be? It was either going to Braun Strowman or The Miz. It should have went to The Miz. It at least could have had some kind of crazy cash-in, maybe this Sunday at Hell in a Cell. Maybe it could have happened at SummerSlam. Maybe it could have happened at, I don't know, have The Miz win the Money in the Bank briefcase, take it all the way to Survivor Series after AJ Styles and Roman Reigns are done battling. AJ Styles gets cashed in on, and we have a new WWE Champion at Survivor Series. Or even take it to the Rumble. I don't care. You gave the Money in the Bank briefcase to the wrong guy, and you wasted it. You fucking wasted it 2 years in a row. You gave it to Baron Corbin last year and had him lose in 10 seconds. You gave it to Braun Strowman this year. He's going to lose inside Hell in a Cell. It's pathetic. So, if you're going to waste Money in the Bank like this, just end the stipulation. Get rid of the pay-per-view. Get rid of the stipulation. If that's all you're going to do for the Money in the Bank ladder match, then just get rid of the stipulation. It's run its course, and it's time to get rid of it. This is 2 years in a row you've wasted a perfectly good Money in the Bank briefcase for just plain stupidity. That's that. And anyone wondering why Mick Foley is in Hell in a Cell as the special guest referee? Yes, it's a two-sided sword right now. On the one hand, the reason they're telling you is because right after Hell in a Cell is over with, they're putting on another Mick Foley one-man show, which will be 20 Years of Hell, which is where he goes over what he remembers from that Hell in a Cell night in King of the Ring 1998. Because, yes, when I say what he remembers, because I guarantee you Mick Foley doesn't remember half of what happened that night. He'll probably talk about what happened going up to the match, because I'm pretty sure he remembers everything from that day up until, getting chucked off the thing. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. I will definitely have to check that out probably sometime Monday. I will not have the review up until Monday, but yes, that is the biggest reason why Mick Foley is in this match that they want to say. The other reason is when he counts to 1, 2, 3, and Roman wins, who's going to boo Mick Foley for handing Roman Reigns the championship and raising his hand? Who's going to boo Mick Foley? Well, they're not in Philadelphia. I don't know where they're at this time. I don't think it has it on here. I don't think I have it on here. No, I do not. But wherever they're going to be for money for Hell in a Cell, wherever they're at, it's not Philadelphia. It's not Chicago. It's not what do I want to say? It's not Philadelphia. It's not Chicago. It's not Chicago. It's not L.A. It's not one of the big cities. I'm pretty sure. So they're not going to have the major shit of the show. Everyone's going to want to see Braun Strowman win this championship, but everyone knows, if anybody knows how WWE works, he's not walking out as champion, and it's a damn shame that you wasted 2 years in a row. You wasted the Money in the Bank briefcase. And Braun Strowman is added to the small list that continues to grow of superstars who failed to cash in. John Cena, Damian Sandow, Baron Corbin, and now Braun Strowman. WWE, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you're really dropping the ball here. There is absolutely no reason for Braun Strowman to lose this Sunday. But WWE wants Roman Reigns to hold that title probably until SummerSlam next year, because they want to take it to WrestleMania and have him rumored to go up against The Rock, with The Rock winning the Royal Rumble. If that shit happens, droves and droves and droves of fans continue to leave. What is WWE going to do? And this is something I got to say before we end this. What is WWE going to do when they get this money from Fox and NBC Universal next year, and their ratings are in the ones, or the 0.5s, or the 0.7s, 0.9s? What are they going to do? Because they'll just continue to drop and drop and drop and drop. Blame your booking. And I'm telling you right now, the brand split is going to die next season, next year. Why? Because you know, with them being on Fox, you know they're going to want Roman on Fox. You know they're going to want Seth Rollins on Fox. You know they're going to want all their big names on Fox. And the brand split, of course, was USA Network's idea. They wanted the brand split. They wanted to put, when they put SmackDown Live to being live on Tuesdays, they didn't want to have what they've seen on SmackDown when it was taped in the last few years before 2016, where it was rematches from Raw. They wanted to have a feel of differentness between SmackDown and Raw. When they go to Fox, SmackDown's on Fox, and it's going to be, well, the brand split was okay for 2 years, we're going to kill it. And it's going to make it about 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. And the brand split will definitely be over. WWE's got to get shit straight, because... And they need to stop. Like, Roman's a made man. This is what I don't get. When John Cena started getting the "Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks" chants, or the "John Cena sucks," they amplify that. I swear, they amplify the crowd so you can hear "Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks, John Cena sucks" when people sing to his theme with "John Cena sucks." Why? Is it bother? Like, it didn't bother Vince McMahon about John Cena getting cool like that. Why does it bother him so much that Roman Reigns is getting booed all the time? Because you'll hear his music go off when it's just Roman Reigns, and you'll hear a boo, and the crowd just goes silent. The crowd just goes silent. The beatdown between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman this past Monday to close the show, the crowd was silent. You couldn't hear anything from the crowd because they cut down the crowd noise, because they knew Roman Reigns would get booed and Braun Strowman would be cheered. Why the hell does it bother Vince McMahon so much? I really would like to know. But I'm going to talk about that if I can. If it does come up tomorrow, which it probably will, we'll talk about that unscripted. But this has been your Hell in a Cell preview and predictions. We're going with the New Day, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan and Brie, Randy Orton, Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, Roman Reigns, and AJ Styles for all 8 matches. And I just did that without even looking at my script. Well, not my script, but my notes. So, yes, that's going to be all. Follow me on Twitter at TheFrance. Follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like this video. Make sure you go check out Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the Mae Young Classic. I will be back here tomorrow for Unscripted. I'll have a review for this on Monday night or Monday morning. And until then, my name is France, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Unscripted. We will be talking heavily about the Evolution pay-per-view leak that hit this past week. Until then, I'm getting out of here. You guys have a good one, and thank you all for watching all my videos.